What's up, y'all? Exodus One, aka Indigo Sky, aka Trigger Ranking. Man, I was supposed to been on this live stuff today, but man, I had to get some rest, y'all. Um, Shit, we about to start it off, y'all. We about to do. Let's see what we got going. Hold on, y'all.
Bluetooth connected.
Right, y'all. So, first thing we're gonna do is this Stephen A. vs. Shannon Sharp. It's heating up, but a lot of stuff that happened today, man. Today was for Puffy's first day in court today. Um, Basically, Diddy, he might have got a loss today because they found out one of the jurors went to high school with him. That's kind of like big news this morning. But let's get on this Stephen A. Versus Shannon Sharp stuff.
Friends that found themselves in very predicament a lot of life. And you can look at somebody, and even if you take issue with their choices, what they've done, you can still sit up there and look at them and say they're a friend.
Because Stephen A., he didn't stand with Shannon Sharp like he stood with Jay-Z. When he heard about Jay-Z, he said, the guy I know, this is not true. When it came to Shannon, he was like, I wasn't there.
My date your age. Well, I want to date my wage.
My boy said he want to date his wage. That's why your ass ain't get that $200 million bag you fumbled.
I'll finish it all these things down tonight.
The whole thing with Shannon Sharp is actually crazy because how are you even entertaining the thought, the conversation after put a big black baby in me? Put a big black baby in me? It's honestly giving that you just have like some sort of racist fetish. Like, you know how when people get with different races.
What's up, man? What's up, Crody? What's up, Crody? You in here with the fam, Crody? Hey, what's up? What's up? Ronald Roomsberg, how you doing? What's up? The Wild Brody. Hey, y'all hit the like button at least, though. Y'all up in here with me, man. Y'all hit the like button, fam.
Just play, slave and owner. That's what it's giving when I was reading those text messages. Because what you mean 25,000 a cheek?
So Shannon Sharp has allegedly cut all ties with former friend and colleague Stephen A. Smith after Stephen kept running his mouth on Shannon's ongoing lawsuit drama. So here's the tea. When the lawsuit against Shannon first dropped, Stephen A. was out here subliminally shading Shannon.
Hit the like button. What's up, everybody?
Now, if you were paying attention,
hit that like button.
Already hinted
Appreciate y'all. Hit the like button, though.
To drop Shannon. And that was
yeah, we in here talking about, first we was talking about Diddy just now, just a little bit about Diddy, but we still on this Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith stuff.
Before any official announcement had even come out. And that alone had people side-eyeing Stephen and asking why he was already talking about Shannon's career in the past tense. But fast forward just a few days.
Do y'all think that Shannon Sharp threw Stephen A. threw Shannon Sharp under the bus after this stuff with this young lady? Because when Jay-Z went through the thing with supposedly the 13-year-old girl with Diddy, Yeah, Stephen A. Smith basically was like, "That's not the guy I know," and all that. But you know Shannon Sharp, like y'all really know each other. You brought him over to your company to work, and you didn't stand up for him after he got in trouble. So I mean, what y'all think about it, man? Y'all get in the conversation, say a little something, something. Tell me how y'all feel, man.
And suddenly, Stephen A is out here acting brand new, and now he's claiming he believes Shannon is innocent. Well, fans aren't buying it, and neither is Shannon. And sources are saying he's not even responding to calls or texts from Stephen anymore. Meanwhile, even some celebs and media figures like Mace are chiming in, calling Stephen A flip-flopper and a snake for switching sides now that the heat is on. So is this the end of Shannon and Stephen A's ESPN era? What exactly made Stephen A switch up on Shannon? Let's break it down.
You ain't gonna see me extraordinary.
What's up, man? Hey, we got a. They said we got a Chiefs fan in here. Man, bro, how'd you feel when y'all got beat in the Super Bowl though? I was like, what in the hell is going on? I couldn't believe y'all got beat like that in the Super Bowl. I was like, well, god damn. I mean, that was ugly. But he was trying his best to come back at the end of the Super Bowl, but yeah. This year wasn't well, it was Kansas year, but they made it to the big dance, but they wouldn't crown the king of the king of the dance this year, y'all.
Disrespecting me. You're not gonna see me stripping him of my support. I can tell you what I think you right and you wrong about.
So apparently, Shannon Sharp has officially cut all ties with Stephen A. Smith, and not just on air. Behind the scenes, sources are saying Shannon feels deeply betrayed after Stephen A. publicly switched up during the ongoing lawsuit drama tied to Shannon. As you probably heard, model who was briefly involved with when she was just 19. And while Stephen A. is now pretending to be in Shannon's corner, just last week he was the first to throw shade at Shannon, and he even hinted
Yeah, he was
Disney
the
and
first one to throw the
ESPN were
man
getting
under
ready
the
to drop
bus.
him.
You work with the
Before they
man,
even
you the
made
first
any
one to throw him under
announcements.
the
And
bus.
now insiders close to Shannon are saying this was the final straw. Allegedly, Shannon has long felt that Stephen A. was low-key jealous.
Well, my favorite team that I like is Baltimore Ravens, but I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I live in Atlanta, so I root for Atlanta. I root for Baltimore is my favorite team, but I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm gonna be honest with you. We're gonna be hell to deal with next year, bro. Jacksonville Jaguars. We got Travis Hunter, bro. We got basically the number one person in the draft besides Shador Sanders. And Shador is a quarterback. But anybody less than a quarterback that's not a quarterback, Travis Hunter, hands down, is one of the best that came out of this draft. Two-way player, offensive, defensive player. Um, yeah.
Success of conversation and viral interviews like the Cat Williams episode. So as Shannon's star kept rising outside of ESPN, Stephen's energy reportedly shifted. And now with Stephen A. backpedaling and trying to play ally, Shannon's not having it. He's reportedly not returning Stephen's calls, and people close to him are saying he's done with Stephen A. for good. Now, for context, when all this drama with Shannon first started, Stephen was one of the first to talk about it, and he went on his show saying he felt bad for Shannon. However, the way he said it made it sound like Shannon's career was already over.
It's a sad situation.
So yeah, man. Word to the wise. If y'all have a friend or whatever, y'all get into something and they get into something that's like crazy or whatever, crazy, and if you a real friend, you'll either stick up for them or just be quiet and don't say nothing. So that's another thing with me, man. Oh, I see what you. Oh, you see this damn hat I got on. Okay. I'm sorry. I forgot I had the damn San Francisco hat on. Y'all remember when Deion Sanders played for San Francisco? Shit, I remember when Deion Sanders played for Atlanta. Must be the money.
Shannon Sharp is somebody I work with a couple of days a week. Shannon Sharp is somebody that I brought to ESPN to to be clear.
You talking too much. Right there, you talking too much, bro. Just let it go, bro. Let it smooth over. Because he talked about what's the boy name? Looked like Dracula. Used to be with Shannon Sharp. He looked just like Dracula. Skip Bayless. So yeah, Skip Bayless um had his little thing going on, talking about he was gonna play 1.5 for some cheeks. 1.5 million for some cheeks. That mean he must have got a big bankroll, bro. If you willing to pay 1.5 for some cheeks, I hope that ain't one time. That 1.5, bro. I'm gonna have to have you for like a good year. I need a year out of that thing. I gotta. Let me start that, bro.
Even though,
But I ain't paying 1.5. I probably wouldn't even pay 1.5 for a car, y'all. Maybe a house. But then you gotta think the taxes on.
this podcast, this YouTube show, operated by me solely, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be dismissive of ESPN, who employs me in my daytime job on First Aid.
See, he buck dancing. Right now he buck dancing for ESPN, because you know that's his parent company. That's who, like, basically he's under. So he got to kind of try to do certain things, because he know if he don't buck dance for the master, he'll lose his job too, messing around with Shannon. And I don't think he's willing to do that. He's not willing to stick his chest out there for Shannon Sharp like that. Wow. Got news coming all day.
So I sit here before you today, letting you know that they are aware that this is a subject that I was going to broach, because I owe them that courtesy. I am the executive producer of First Take on ESPN. I recruited Shannon. And they got him.
What if I told you that the world needs your message and your story? My name is Jeremy Anderson, and for
I'm going to ESPN.
Oh, this is a recording. That's right, y'all. Hold on. Hold on, man. Let me see, y'all. Hold on. Let me see.
I'm not close.
I'm sorry, y'all. It sounds kind of weird. We might have to go to videos. Let me see if I can get online, y'all, with this other phone. See what happens. See if I get a little bit of traction, y'all. Look like we might have action. We might have action, guys. Okay, let's see. Oh, we're going to the Petty Show. Hold on, Petty Show. Going to the Petty Show, y'all. 1 second. What we might do, hold on, let me see what the Petty Show got, because I know they got something new on now. Let me see. Look like we might have traction, guys. We might have traction. And where's stuff at? That's 5 days ago. Do the one with Monique and Shannon Shaw right now. Hold on. It's gonna be a little clearer. Y'all can hear this one. Hey, what's up? How you doing?
It is
I'm doing good.
possible when you're working with a program that is this flexible. They make it possible. You can.
I don't got. Okay, so now we in the clear, y'all. I got the clear audio.
Money engaged with. Well, guess what, Art? She decides she's not going to sign the NDA. That right there was that this 19-year-old know what that means. That means if
Fellas, it's almost like Steven Jackson, Captain Jack. They was at the wedding, and the lawyer told him that agreement, and after that, whenever he asked her to sign it, she didn't sign it, so he didn't get married. Hey man, Shannon Sharp should have known. Like, he should have known. What Monique had to say about the boy.
I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
Damn.
Shannon Sharp told her that if she would lose enough for some artificial breasts. Now that's very puzzling to me, Art, because she's already extra skinny.
He really wanted a 17-year-old, but he can't. For 18-year-old, 20-year-old. So here it is, he at the gym, working out. He's showing up at the gym with them big old black legs.
Shannon Sharp is furious
Charles
after
White
Monique
fool.
went after him during her comedy show, making jokes about his ongoing legal drama with the OnlyFans model who's suing him for $50 million. The clip of Monique roasting him has gone viral, and sources close to Shannon are saying he's not happy about it because he thought his celebrity friends would have his back. But instead, he's getting dragged. However, fans are reminding Shannon that Monique was the one who warned him months ago on Club Shay Shay about this exact situation.
She definitely
and told
did.
him to stop chasing after young girls who only want him for his money. But Shannon just brushed it off. Now Shannon's reputation is already in trouble, and even if he wins the lawsuit, it's not going to fix everything. His $100 million podcast deal is up in the air. Sponsors are pulling back, and even
So look,
his
listen,
friends
y'all.
are
They said a
backing off.
$100 million podcast deal is up in the air because of the allegations. Now, on top of all of that, we got to think about the ESPN deal. He was doing so well on ESPN that basically the renewal of his contract at ESPN could have been another $100 million deal or whatever. So, like, he messed up a lot of money, bro.
But what exactly did Monique say about Shannon now that her warning came true? And why is Shannon mad at Monique when she's the one who tried to help him? Let's break it down.
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. I know.
A lot of people were surprised by the recent news that Shannon Sharp is being sued for rape. But Monique wasn't one of them. She tried to warn him before that something like this could happen if he kept messing with young women. But Shannon ignored it. So after all this drama with Shannon and the OnlyFans model popped off, fans were dying to hear what Monique had to say. Well, she finally broke her silence during a recent show on Cat Williams' Heaven on Earth comedy tour, and she reminded everyone that she tried to give Shannon advice, but he didn't want to listen. And it sounds like Monique is saying what the rest of us are thinking. Shannon brought this on himself. For context, after the news broke about
He was
a clip
warned.
from Monique's February 2024 interview on Club Shay Shay started making the rounds online again.
He was
And in this
definitely
clip,
warned.
Monique told Shannon he shouldn't be dating girls half his age or younger, and suggested he find an older gal instead, someone more on his level who wouldn't try to use him
An
for his
older
money.
gal.
This dating thing, because it's more, it's different now. Than when you and I was.
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
I mean, listen though.
You trying to say what you trying to say?
He even said it himself. It's difficult now, bro. If you know it's difficult, bro, get somebody of age, bro. Get somebody that's your age range, bro. Somebody that won't make you look bad with the optics, because the age really with this girl made all the optics look terrible for Shannon, bro. Terrible, my nigga.
Right as you know, I'm bringing up your I ain't backing down. You better take your own and get somebody to love you.
Damn, oh.
Now I'm looking right at you. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me leave my life.
Fat dad. Smothered turkey wings. We're gonna rub
Smothered
his feet up
turkey
at
wings.
nighttime, okay? And gonna have him his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. I know. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your and get your old.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm in my 40s, but just to be honest with you, it's women I had that's 50 years old that look like they in their 30s, man. Like, I mean, beautiful older women, bro. So it really ain't no excuse, dog. It ain't like you ain't got the power, prestige, or money to get a woman like your age that's beautiful. You don't gotta go run after children or the kids, my nigga. Into me as a kid, bro. My daughter is 19 years old, bro. 19-year-old daughter. So I mean, come on, bro. Like, let's just be real with this shit, though.
They can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young and you can't. You just can't do it.
You just can't do
I
it.
want you to go for a fourth round. You looking at her like, listen. Yeah, because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to the fourth round, she's gonna say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese.
Eggs and cheese.
And some toast with apple butter, because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you.
Damn.
So he was doing, I was going to be scared. I'm talking
all that kiki bro.
You know somebody in Elador? Yeah. Old school.
See, Shannon one of them folk, bro. And he got the right perfection, like how he carries himself. Okay, so Shannon, one of them people, my grandma used to always tell me, you got 2 ears for a reason and 1 mouth. You're supposed to listen more than you speak. But in Shannon's profession, the way he leads with his mouth. So Shannon does a lot of talking, and he really don't listen like that, bro. Like, he might listen to it, but it goes past the scope of his understanding, because when you talking, bro, you talking past certain points. Like this right here is showing you, like, step by step, bro. Like, listen to to when people talking to you. Like, even if it's something you might not want to hear, you might want to still listen, just to see if you can get something out of it, you know.
Eladora told me to tell you. She said, I think you like red velvet.
Oh, I do.
I said, Miss Eladora, if you do like that, she said, you let her know I got something for him.
Yeah, I
You don't have no teeth. Come on, pick your glass up and clap for me. These young gals will bite you.
Now, Monique has always been a polarizing figure, and some fans love her unfiltered honesty, while others think she comes off too harsh or self-righteous. But when it comes to this Shannon situation, even people who don't usually agree with Monique are saying she was 100% right. Because she was clearly talking directly to Shannon in that interview and warning him that his lifestyle and choice of women could come back to bite him. But Shannon just sat there giggling through her advice and continuing to chase after OnlyFans models.
All that
Fast forward a year later, and now he's lost his ESPN gig and...
all that kiki in my nigga. Sit your ass down somewhere, my nigga. For real, bro. Sit your ass down somewhere, bro. I know he wish he would have had an old fat gal now. Shit. He would have had a bigger bag, I tell you that. This man wanted a teeny bopper. He wanted a teeny bopper and lost damn near. Potentially could have lost 200 million. We know he at least lost 100 million. Club Shay Shay podcast, this shit out of here, bro.
Hooked for millions of dollars because of this lawsuit. So people are now looking back at that interview and saying Monique saw the red flags before. She can tell a joke, but won't tell a lie. Shannon listened instead of laughing.
They say Monique can tell a joke, but she can't tell a lie. That's crazy.
To be crying all the way to the bank. I don't know what people were telling him in his personal life, but he had at least 3 guests on his show who talked about his poor dating choices. He literally had Cat Williams, Monique, and Lil Yachty say something to him.
I ain't got premium, y'all. Gotta skip it up. Skip it up.
Why does the world
Why does the
But
world?
despite all the fallout from the lawsuit and losing his ESPN job, it seems like Shannon still hasn't learned his lesson. And sources close to him are now saying he was furious when he saw Monique using his situation as material for her comedy show. Apparently, Shannon's upset that Monique is making light of
He can't get mad at Monique for telling a joke about him, because if somebody warns you, like if she didn't know nothing about it and she was telling a joke about it, it would be like, damn, you kind of, bro, she was on the show with this man across, she's sitting on one couch, he's sitting on the other, bro. And she warned this man, so it's like, I mean, it's nothing we really can do after that, bro. Like, I mean, you don't want her to do what she do. She's a comedian. That's what she does. Like, come on, man.
his troubles. And insiders are saying he expected his famous friends to jump to his defense. But that didn't happen, and almost no one came forward to vouch for Shannon's character, which speaks volumes. However, people aren't feeling sorry for Shannon because it seems like this lawsuit is just the final straw in a long history of reckless behavior. Shannon has been in the news for all the wrong reasons over the years, and now more things are coming to light that show his true colors. One clip that's going viral now shows Shannon losing his temper during his podcast. This happened on the
Man, I was
30th
watching this
episode of
show.
Nightcap.
I don't
And
know
while
if I was
discussing
watching the
2020
I don't know if I was watching the replay or if I was watching it live or whatever, but I know I seen it, bro. The dude, after all of this done happened, this man looks off camera and tells somebody shut the F up, bro. Like, bro, it's not like you're not making yourself look good in the point of public opinion, you know?
At the NFL draft, Shannon suddenly looked off camera and yelled, "Shut the F up."
You got one of the two teams they call me on and say, what's your phone number? Where you gonna be?
Who that?
Damn.
But that's not all.
Oh, yeah.
Shannon's also under fire for saying he won't allow his daughter's wedding budget to be over $30,000. And mind you, this is the man who offered that OnlyFans model $10 million to stop her.
Yeah, they going after him about that too, cause like everything he really said in the past, like even the stuff he said about Deshaun Watson and all that, like it's coming back to bite him, bro. Like it's becoming like a full 360 circle. Hey, you did.
Filing her lawsuit. He made these comments in another episode of Nightcap. How much they spend on their kids' weddings. And that's when each of his daughter's weddings to $30,000 and joked that they could serve spaghetti and fried fish instead of expensive options.
Hey, my daughter's a budget. You got a budget. And I don't get whatever you do after that.
What number, I mean, I don't want to be in your business, but what number you said?
30,000.
Okay. So you can have a wedding with 30,000?
I don't know what you can have. I ain't even want to get married. I don't give a damn.
But you said that, but you about to give the little 19-year-old girl that ain't your daughter, somebody you screwing, that's on OnlyFans, basically a trick. You'll give her 10 million.
Hey, they better go get one of those front. Hey, y'all from the South, y'all know about that fried catfish and spaghetti plate. Hey, I know.
Man, this man said they gonna be eating fried catfish and goddamn spaghetti. Boy, stop.
Somebody hook that thing right on up. What they talking about a plate? $10.50 a head. Spaghetti, fried catfish, a piece of cornbread, and a thing of styrofoam sweet tea. That's all you get. Man, I'm not finna go. Oh, hell, now man, I wish I.
Of course, it didn't take long before fans started dragging Shannon over these comments and pointing out that Shannon literally admitted in those leaked texts that the OnlyFans model was charging him $25,000 for each cheek. One fan said it needed to happen to expose how much of a hypocrite Shannon is. He lost the little respect he had for others.
$25,000 a cheek. That's what she texted him. And all this big black baby stuff and all like that's just weird conversation to have with a man being from the South, knowing the things that happen to people. You know, the way she's talking to him is kind of like, it's really degrading race play kind of type stuff. Like, All this big black baby talk and that's just weirded out. Weird. That's some weird shit to me, bro. Like, that's really fucking weird, dog. Like, why couldn't this be a baby? Like, where the big black baby come in at? Like, and she said something about baby gravy. Like, bro, that's some southern shit. Gravy? Come on, man.
Now he's done, willing to give an ex-worker millions of dollars, but his own daughter $30K for her wedding. But it gets even messier. Fans are calling out Shannon for engaging in some type of race play fetishized relationship with that OnlyFans girl, Gabriella. After those texts he shared showed her talking to him in a weird, racially charged way. However, Shannon didn't share his part of the conversation, and fans are convinced this whole race play thing was his idea.
Yeah, he race
all,
baiting like he did that shit, bro. Like, he was right along with it,
Shannon
bro.
requested from her.
That shit, bro. He probably would keep on the damn phone, bro. All that kiki,
I need to share
you done
something
fucked
that
him.
are completely in the dark about.
From her. And just one more thing about Mr. Sharp. Not so sharp, clearly.
Not so sharp.
It is my theory.
Shannon,
my
not
opinion,
so
my
sharp.
Theory, not fact, my opinion.
Not so sharp.
I think all of this RACE rhetoric that was in those text messages started with him. It started with him.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming more and more opinion that he has a race fetish. He has a fetish for that type of dynamic. Think about it. This was a 19-year-old white woman when he met her. I don't know any 19-year-old white woman that's running around hollering about a big black baby. And baby gravy.
Baby
Shannon
gravy.
was a
Come on.
54-year-old big black grown man from the backwoods of Georgia. Gravy sounds like he's familiar with.
Come on now. Said the same
Big
shit I
black
just
babies. He probably seen a few in his day.
Same
Born
shit I
in the
just
backwoods
said.
of Georgia where he grew up with his grandma and all them other folks. But I just don't think it came from her. Now, if she repeating it back in those text messages, yes, that's like he released her messages, not his. Repeat that. Okay? We haven't seen what this response was. And I guarantee you, when they post those messages, y'all gonna see. All of that race started with him. It's a fetish. And he could only play that kind of stuff out with a young girl. He couldn't, like when he was trying to tell him, get an older gal. Older gal ain't going for that. They was going to immediately know he was a freak and a weirdo.
They're gonna look at you like, what's wrong with you, bro?
Don't know that.
Yeah, 19-year-old, you can do that with a 19-year-old. And you a millionaire nigga, like, bro, he can do whatever you want to do with that little girl, because he got the
Older
bag.
men, that's why they tend to want them to be. They want them to do. You let him come to a 40 or 50-year-old woman talking about put a big black baby and baby gravy. We gonna be looking like, what's wrong with you?
Dang.
Yeah, that started with him. Mark my words, it's gonna come out. But that race stuff started with Shannon.
Meanwhile, more clips are starting to surface showing that Shannon has always been a weirdo when it comes to women. In one clip that's now making the rounds, Shannon said he wanted a woman so bad he paid for a divorce because he felt she was the one. And yet his daughter has to be on a budget for her wedding day.
Nah, I was once dating this chick, right, Skip, and she was married, but she getting a divorce. I knew I wanted her. I said, you know what? I'll pay for the divorce because I believe she was the one. That's what I did. I said, why you arguing about this? He wouldn't sign the papers. I said, why you arguing about this little bit of money? I gave her the money, filed the divorce because I believe if I keep it 100 with y'all here, but I did that.
And then there's also this clip where Shannon sharing a freaky story about another woman he was with, and he even managed to leave on Sanders speechless.
Oh yeah. So look, y'all. This, like, you got to listen to this part right here. This dude he got so like graphic, and you know Deion Sanders is really like seated in Christian values and the word and stuff like that. So they on nightcap. Deion Sanders in the middle. So you got Ocho on the right side of Deion and Shannon on the left. He telling this story about when he was doing it with this lady. And basically, Deion Sanders looked so weirded out after he finished saying what he's saying. It was like evident.
I put this on everything. I was having sex.
That's all.
Hold on. Paint the whole picture. Now. Don't cheat me.
Yeah, don't cheat either.
Okay.
I want the detail.
We're having position.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey.
No, Lord Jesus. He do it when she don't know. That is not. And what I'm about to say is 1,000%.
That's crazy.
So she passed gas. She said, excuse me. I said, that's right. Do it. Yes, she passed gas.
Yeah.
Then she looked back and said, excuse me. No.
Yeah.
How's she doing it? Tired. She said, excuse me. I said, that's all right, baby. Excuse me. Hey, she said, excuse me. I said, that's all right, baby. I generally look at you. It kept going.
Look, Deion Sanders, look, he wasn't laughing no more. Deion Sanders' face just went. Deion Sanders looked at him and said,
Both y'all nasty, dog.
Hey.
Hold on, you heard what he said? Deion Sanders said, both of y'all nasty, bro. Watch this.
Both y'all nasty, dog.
Hey, I swear.
That's right. No,
Fist bump.
No, don't do that. Don't
Hold on, y'all come right back. Right back. My remote. I'll be right back.
And if you look at the comments, a lot of fans are saying this is exactly why they stopped watching Shannon and Ocho's show. Because Shannon was always talking about his weird bedroom escapades. And nobody wanted to hear that, especially not from a nearly 60-year-old man. Meanwhile, more industry figures are calling Shannon and saying he should have known better than to mess with a 19-year-old. One of them was Dr. lawsuit is a shakedown. Shannon still had no business getting involved with someone that young, and he should have seen the red flags when Gabriella allegedly refused to sign an NDA.
You would think that in the aftermath of all of these cases that's going on, that Shannon Sharpe or any black male celebrity for that matter will conduct themselves in a more responsible manner. So what do we know about this situation? A gym in Los Angeles approximately 2 years ago. 23. Now, Shannon alleges that he tried to present her NDA, non-disclosure agreement, which every celebrity should require from anyone they engage.
But I'm gonna tell y'all that NDA, it only goes so far, because the people that's in the Diddy, a lot of them people in the Diddy trial, they sign NDAs too. So it only goes so far.
Well, guess what, Art? She decides she's not going to sign the NDA. That right there was a warning to Shannon Sharpe that this 19-year-old, you shouldn't be dating anyway because of her age, because of her race. You need to end this. If she don't want to sign an NDA dating a celebrity, you know what that means. That means if this doesn't go her way,
she come back to get a bag. Yep.
Shannon Sharpe should have ended there.
Yeah, right
the
there.
problem was she.
I don't agree with everything Umar said, but he spot on with that one.
Uncle Shay Shay, he likes Caucasian women, as we all know, and he likes them very skinny. You know, in the
Shannon Sharpe said one time, allegedly, this is alleged. He said one time, the only thing he could do with a black woman is hold her for the police together, like. Bro. The only thing he can do with a black woman is hold her for the police together, bro. Like, this shit don't seem real, my nigga.
And I'm saying that is the pictures that are floating around the internet on Gabrielle Asu Ninjas is the pictures of a very petite, to her, allegedly, Shannon Sharpe told her.
The other driver after a car accident.
One second, y'all, I ain't got premium, I ain't got the free.
Without having to go.
That if she would lose enough weight for him, he would buy her some artificial breasts. Now that's very puzzling to me, Art, because she's already extra skinny, extra petite, no booty, no breasts, no nothing. Why would you want her to that? We know that Shannon Sharp's type is an extra pale, extra skinny Caucasian. He definitely don't like them 5'5" thick in the thighs like Dr. Umar. He don't want butter almond, he don't want butter pecan, he don't want fudge, cinnamon, mahogany, he don't even want African vanilla, butterscotch, African lemonade. He wants some pale and skinny. I want him brown chocolate and curd.
So after everything that's come out about Shannon, fans aren't feeling sorry for him at all. And a lot of people are saying he has no right to be mad at Monique for cracking a joke, especially since she actually tried to help him when she of Shay Shay. She really warned him, but he didn't want to listen. He laughed it off and kept doing what he wanted.
Hey, listen when people in the Bible, God comes before warning before destruction. So listen, man, you know, like I say, sometimes people might be saying stuff you might not even want to hear. But guess what? You might need to listen, bro. It might be hard to hear. Sometimes the truth is hard to hear, but guess what? It's better off to listen, bro, because it can help you ultimately in the end, you know?
So now things have blown up in his face. Folks are saying he's just dealing with the consequences of his own choices. And based on the latest reports...
I'm from down south, y'all. This a cliche saying. When you make your bed, you gotta lie down in it, bro. He made his bed, now he laying down in this shit.
Those consequences are looking pretty serious. Gabrielle is asking for $50 million in damages, and it's not clear if his current net worth can handle that kind of financial hit. Celebrity Network estimates Shannon's net worth at around $30 million. He made about $22.5 million during his time in the NFL, with his biggest payday being $5 million from the Baltimore Ravens as part of a 4-year deal worth $13.8 million. These days, Shannon reportedly earns about $10 million a year through a mix of podcasts, brand deals, media work, and his own luxury cognac brand, Le Portier. But even so, he's still behind his first take co-host, Steve Smith.
The album down, because you know what she said, Le Portier. I wonder has the sales went down since this whole scandal has arisen out of the fires of the dust of Shannon's goddamn bedroom.
Whose net worth is around $45 million. Stephen A. recently grabbed headlines after landing a 5-year, $100 million deal, making him one of the top paid analysts in sports, just behind Tom Brady.
Your ESPN contract, yes, sir, is up next year. And the word on the street is that you want something in the range of $100 million 5 years.
Right.
True?
It ain't fault. I always want as much.
So look, that's what I was saying earlier, y'all, about he might have messed that bag up because he right behind Stephen A. Smith, bro. Like they really love the Shannon. Like Shannon was the thing on ESPN. Like pretty much everywhere he went, but it's like he's like he don't work well with others. Like I guess when it comes to the workplace, behind the scenes of the camera or whatever. But he was next in line, man. The man about to get another $100 million, bro. He about to get $100 million for Club Shay Shay, $100 million from ESPN. The man was about to be, he was on his way. He was the next Lenny Bruce. He was on his way.
Money as I can get. I'm not going to apologize to that. What I would say to you is I would ask respectfully, see what people are getting paid, see how much money they're making and what they're bringing to the table. Look at their ratings, look at their revenue that they're generating, and look at mine.
And here's the wild part. Shannon was actually close to closing his own $100 million deal before that lawsuit dropped. But now it could either way. Before Gabriella filed her complaint, Shannon was in talks for a huge podcast deal, which would have included all of his Shay Shay media shows, including Club Shay Shay, Nightcap with Chad Johnson, Club 520 Podcast, The Bubba Dub Show, and Humble Baddies. On April 18th, just 3 days before Shannon was named in Gabriella's lawsuit, Front Office Sports reported that Shannon was expected to sign a deal that would exceed $100 million. However, that deal's now on hold. And if it falls through, it'll be a major loss for Shannon. On top of that, the outcome of the lawsuit is still hanging over him. And if he loses, people are wondering if he's even made enough money over the years to handle a $50 million payout. Now, to be clear, even if the case doesn't go in Sharp's favor, Gabriella might not end up getting the $50 million that she's demanding. Civil lawsuits involving SA are often hard to win, especially when the line between consensual behavior and alleged wrongdoing isn't clear.
So he offered her 10 when the whole thing, well, I guess before the whole thing hit the media, he offered her 10 million. But like Mace was like, Mace said, shit, 10. I guess the lawyer was like, shit, I can get 10. That's 10 for me. I can get you 50. So you get 40, I get 10. So that's basically what Cameron was saying.
And there's also a chance Sharp won't be found responsible at all, and he could even end up walking away without having to pay anything. But even if Shannon wins the lawsuit and walks away without paying a dime, the damage to his reputation is already done. We've all seen those texts and heard that audio of Shannon threatening to choke Gabriella.
Anything I
damage
say,
is
you're
done.
just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like,
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what does that even mean?
I'm gonna say yeah. You wanna be a dick to me now, so
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
I don't know that much.
Listen, we talking like they in a relationship, nigga. They talking like they in a relationship, bro. This girl 19 years old, bro.
Thank you. Yes, you do.
Come on, dog. You don't have a choice in the matter.
I don't think you have a choice.
So even if Shannon wins in court, it doesn't erase what people now know about how he moves behind the scenes. This situation isn't just for innocence, it's about innocence.
It's like, bro, you don't know whether to laugh or cry, my nigga. Like, this shit's sad, bro. Like, how motherfuckers just throw away their career, bro, over some cat, bro. Like, bro, I don't give a damn how fine these females is, bro. Bro, y'all watch y'all back, watch y'all surroundings, and just make sure you cover your tracks, bro. Like, for real, like. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna be moving around like some of these people with a lot of money, because I'm just gonna move around like I'm gonna have cameras everywhere. So you lie on me, they're gonna be able to see everything that went down. You lie on me, bro. Like, hey, officer, look, this what happened here, this what happened out. Shit, I might have goddamn cameras in the bathroom. I don't give a damn if it's my shit.
And that's the real cost here. Employers like Disney, which owns ESPN, just don't care if you're found guilty in court. They care.
That's how Johnny Depp got on. Johnny Depp had cameras in his house. That's how he won his case, bro. He was able to show the actions of the woman that was saying things about him, and it showed, nah, you the one that's the problem. And when they took that in court, it was nothing else they could do. All they had to do was say, hey, play the tape, boom. And that's really might what happened with the Diddy stuff. Cause when they play that clip where he ran down that hallway and put his hands on Cassie and feet and all that on Cassie, it ain't gonna look good for that boy. It's not gonna look good for that boy. Oh, you done fucked your. Diddy fucked his bag up too, bro. But Diddy fucked his bag up a different way. He started going after the people who helped them, the liquor companies and shit. And y'all know that the liquor companies, I keep telling y'all, the liquor companies is owned by the federal government, bro. Now, I don't know if y'all know what ATF is. We're going to go through this again, kids. ATF. When Diddy went against the alcohol companies, the ATF is alcohol. That's the first thing they say. Alcohol, tobacco, and fucking firearms, bro. So, yeah, that it just is what it is.
Or if your name starts trending for all the wrong reasons. They care about headlines and public opinion. And right now, Shannon's a liability, and many companies will think twice before attaching themselves to it, even if he's legally in the clear. Now, of course, it's possible Shannon will bounce back. He's built a strong following, and people love a redemption arc. But that path is going to be longer and harder now because of his own actions. He ignored all that advice from people like Monique from Cat Williams, surrounded himself with the wrong people, and got caught up in a situation he should have known better than to entertain. He seriously messed up when he got involved with this young OnlyFans model, not just because of the age gap, but because of the power dynamic and the weird racial fetishism. And you know, companies like Disney don't want that type of stuff attached to their brand. But what's your take on all this? Does Shannon Sharpe have a real shot at bouncing back from this drama, or is the damage too deep? And
Alright, y'all, that was the Petty Show, y'all. I checked the Petty Show. I love the Petty Show. I love reacting to them. Let's see. Let's see what they're talking about on Law and Crime about Diddy. Hold on. Law and Crime, y'all. This Law and Crime. I'm gonna check it out.
I was born and raised in Juneau. I had some mentors within the department that steered me towards.
For the opening statements, day one. Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming out really quickly to talk about this. So first, I want you to set the stage. The whole scene out there. You had almost trouble getting into the courtroom. Talk to us about what you're seeing.
Oh yeah, I crashed out a little bit this morning, Jesse, thinking I was not about to get inside that courtroom and steal Mark Agnifilo. Mark Garrett.
He got Brian Steele, y'all.
Advisory.
He got Young Thug lawyer.
So it's crazy out here, especially, you know, it's
And he got Garrigo's daughter,
malicious allegation.
Garrigo's daughter, he got Mark. Alright, y'all, we back. We had, I keep, man, I got this. Alright, y'all, we back. We had, I keep, man, I got these airplanes flying over my crib, man. They be messing up everything. We back. So we still talking about the whole Diddy thing. We on Law.
Courtroom today. Still is a lot of famous faces, or let me not say famous faces, but a lot of people that we are definitely familiar with here at Law and Crime. You have Mark Garrigo's from the courtroom, Karen Agnifilo, who is the wife of Mark Agnifilo, who's also representing Luigi as well too. You had Little Rod inside the
Little Rod was in
one who had filed one of the many civil claims against Diddy as well too. He came in probably, I would say, maybe a little like 8:30-ish, kind of came in with the sunglasses, 2 chains on as well.
Hey, y'all, they say it was so crazy today in the courtroom. The line was so long that people were just standing in the line, and if they got in the line, they didn't even want to go see it. They just auctioned off their seat to go for somebody else to pay them. And they say it was up to $600 for a seat in the courtroom today just to see Diddy.
As his attorney was inside that courtroom as well too. You have all of Diddy's children, with the exception of his youngest daughter, Love, were inside that courtroom. So that includes Quincy Brown, Justin Combs, Christian Combs, Delilah Combs, Chance Combs, Jesse Combs. Chance's mother was inside that courtroom. Diddy's mother was inside that courtroom. The daughter of Diddy's youngest daughter.
So look, y'all, I got these Ray-Ban. These are the stories. These are the first ones that came out with the cameras on them. I wonder I wonder if anybody slipped in there with some glasses on today with cameras on them. And if you do, send me the footage on my Instagram. It's pinned at the top of my channel.
Was inside that courtroom, and then you have the twins' caregiver, who is also best friends with Kim Porter as well too. So a lot of people were inside that courtroom as well for just opening statements, just to get this jury selected, because it went down from 43 to 18.
And look at his daughters. They look. I know they're twins, but they look like
body to body, and
eerily alike.
It's Diddy's first day of trial, so this is, just a little bit of what we were expecting today. But it's crazy out here.
And I will encourage everybody to check out what you're posting on X, Twitter, because earlier today you actually posted that you saw Rodney Little Rod Jones, one of the first people to sue Sean Combs. He was outside the courthouse. We were always expecting who would end up showing up during the course of this trial.
Little Rod in that motherfucker, bro.
Who is this jury? What can you tell about how they're reacting so far to opening statements. I mean, NBC has reported you have one juror who's a 69-year-old male, another juror who's a 31-year-old male, another one 51-year-old male. You have a 42-year-old female, and they have different numbers to them. But what are you determining based on the jury? What's the makeup, and how are they positioning? How are they reacting to the opening statement so far?
Yeah, well, kind of a hard question to ask, or answer, I should say, just because of where I was sitting inside the gallery. It was really hard to kind of see each and every single one of their faces when both sides were presenting opening statements. But what I did see from being inside that gallery was some people jotting notes, some people just very much intently listening to both Emily Johnson for the prosecution as well as Timmy Garagos for the defense. But as far as the makeup goes, I kind of just took their jury numbers and compared them to the notes that I took last week when I was here for jury selection. You have one who's a scientist, one whose brother is a security guard who knew that he was arrested but didn't know the charges. You have one person who's part of a union job. He works for the Department of Corrections. Another person who is now retired but previously used to work at Verizon. You had another person whose friend is a detective. Son is a security guard. But, you know, as far as the defense was kind of making their objections today as far as jury selection goes, and, you know, just kind of the objections they made that, you know, the government was striking 7 black jurors, that type of thing. There were still black jurors that are going to be serving on this panel who are going to be making making the decisions going into those deliberations. So from what
they said today, one of the jurors got thrown out of the courtroom because basically they found out that one of these jurors that they actually picked actually went to high school with Diddy. So this could have been like a red herring. Like basically they caught it like before it, you know what I'm saying, got too far, because what if they would have had went through the whole trial and this was the only person that said he wasn't guilty? Come on now, you know what I'm saying?
Saw the jury makeup as a whole, it really was a diverse group of men and women of all different ages.
So I'm gonna, we hear some commentary in the back right there. Obviously, I think there's gonna be a lot of commentary when we counted up right now. I believe we, as we're looking into this, we're counting up how many men there are. I believe there's 8 men, 4 women.
Extra $658 a year. Let me show you how to save that much on your home insurance.
On this ages, none of them younger than 30 years old. It is a little
Nobody
bit
younger than 30
as well. What we saw today with opening statements, right? And by the way, just to reiterate something that you mentioned before, the first argument we heard from the defense today was saying that the prosecution, they raised what's called a Batson challenge to their preemptory challenges, saying you're striking jurors based on race, which is improper. Talk about opening statements. I want to start with the prosecution. What was the main theme of today, and did you learn something new? And Elizabeth, you're going to have to talk a little bit louder because that guy behind you is incredibly loud. So, so what was the theme of Emily Johnson's opening statement, and did you learn anything new? Anybody that might testify?
Yeah, so, you know, obviously following this case from the beginning, from the time that Cassie had first dropped her civil lawsuits against Diddy. And so a lot of this stuff that we were listening to from Emily Johnson was expected, right? You know, she starts off with saying, this is Sean Combs. He's a cultural icon, a businessman. He's larger than life. But then she went and kind of that went past 20 years, you know, kidnapping, allegations of arson, allegations of drug trafficking, sex crimes, obstruction. You know, they were talking about one specific night where the defendant was on the hunt for girlfriend Cassie. So I was pretty surprised there that they just went out of the gates and already had just named her. I was assuming when she were going to be taking the stand, that's when the jurors would know her name, and that's when she would be introduced as, you know, alleged victim number 1. But the government came out and just automatically just named her. You know, they talked about the incident where Cassie was seeing another man, and that Diddy took his gun and his bodyguard, and Diddy threatened to allegedly kill this man that Cassie was with. You know, Johnson talked about how he had beat Cassie so brutally that he also had to take control of her. He kept videos of Cassie. These are the types of things we had already known and were already kind of painted out inside those indictments that the government had had written up in that type of sort, Diddy referring himself as a king, crown on the back of his neck. Emily Johnson spoke about the defendant using his inner circle to manipulate women that for a while, how his bodyguards kind of played, or bodyguards as well as employees kind of played a role into this alleged RICO conspiracy as well too, and she made it a point to say this case is not about a celebrity's private sex preferences, because that was something that the defense definitely that the story, and we'll talk about that more in a second. While there has been a lot of reports about victim 3 and where her whereabouts are and anything like that, the defense didn't talk about alleged victim number 3. Instead, they kept it pretty short and to the point. They talked about Cassie, they talked about Jane, who we presume to be the other alleged victim. Case, the government was.
They got a lot. Why? Woo, did it? They got you there. They might have you dead to right, boy. You might be dead to right, did it? All the shit you reading all, bro. I'm like, damn, when is it gonna end? Like, this crucial.
Talking about, the freak offs being also named Wild King Night, something that we had also known about, as well as even just simply as, hotel nights as well. Allegations of flying.
So they basically try to say, Diddy can't. They're saying this was his lifestyle. He didn't, I guess, grape anyone. This is just how he lived, like a what's his name? The dude over Playboy. I forget his name. Howard. I forget the guy that owned Playboy, but they basically saying he led a lifestyle like that, But did he just they might, I don't know if they dropped the charges with the gun, because I haven't heard anything about the guns. But bro, just to have them guns alone, my G, with the serial number knocked down, bro, you can't do that at all. You can't do that nowhere, bro. And they were AK-47, so them bitches, he had AK-47 with the serial number knocked out, bro. You can't have that, bro. You barely can have an AK-47 with the serial number. But with the serial number knocked out, nah, that you gotta go to jail for that just alone, dog. Just that by itself.
The thing that didn't have to for the staff to set his rooms in advance, lighting, lube, cash for escorts, drugs for both Diddy and the women that were participating in these types of events. Women had to dress in lingerie, had to wear white nails, tall heels, something that Cassie had pointed out in her civil law. Then they went.
Camera, I don't know, it's picking up the wind.
The defendant had met Cassie. They had a 17-year age difference. Cassie was initially given a 10-album deal, and obviously that never happened as far as a bunch of different
Cassie gonna be in there. She gonna testify. So I already basically knew that. I knew she was gonna testify. But I was just thinking, what if it was a freak of nature and she just didn't because she got the money? You know what I'm saying? What if she didn't because she got the money and shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, because she already done got paid off, but she got a lump sum, nigga. She got about over $30 million, bro. Over 30. She got a lump sum out that bit.
And that type of sort, and so these were types of things that we had already known about. I think some of the more interesting points also go to Jane, as far as the other alleged victim. She was a single mom. She met Diddy around 2020 when Diddy was single, when Jane was single, but Diddy was seeing other people. Diddy introduced Jane to the freak off, and she had tried one just to kind of make him happy, and then.
Hey y'all, I wonder they're gonna have Young Miami in this shit. They say Young Miami them in the paperwork, but see, sometimes so when they got trials like this, dog, just to let y'all know, everybody that they asked to talk to, they not there. Everybody might not get spoken to, especially in this case, because it's gonna be so many people. So by being so many people, they might only need. Let's say they got 40 people they need to talk to. Out of them 40, They take 15 people and talk to them, and they know they could just kill the whole case with just that. Sometimes that's how they do it. They just take the most powerful pieces or the most powerful stories against you, use that against you, and then just lock you up and shit. But sometimes they had everybody come in there. Sometimes they had everybody come in there and didn't talk.
Kind of kept going into this repetitive cycle of doing these. That Jane didn't want to do these freak offs. At one point, to hire men on her own that worked in the porn industry. She didn't wear condoms when they participate.
So I ain't got to give me a second.
The benefits of a traditional school should.
So hold on, I got this interview, y'all. Jonathan Adi, bro. This man, he sued it, and basically he said they hired him as what she's saying, and he had to do certain things with Cassie, Diddy, all this other stuff, bro. All this other
activities. So that were pointed out as far as the government. And Jesse, do you want me to go into the defense?
Well, before you go into the defense, as I was reading about the reporting today, it was the first confirmation that Cassandra Ventura is victim one in this case. We always guessed it, we always surmised it. Now we have a definitive answer. And by the way, I think it was either the prosecution or the defense who mentioned that she's going to probably testify this week as we wonder who the first witnesses are going to be. And also this reference to Mia, who is Sean Combs' personal assistant, that is maybe going to provide some important testimony in this case. Now, before we go to the defense, real quick, as though you're looking at all these people that are behind you right now, Elizabeth, are these all reporters? Are these all fans? Are these all people who are supporting Sean Combs, who are not supporting Sean Combs? Are these just interested spectators? I'm trying to get a sense of the people that are walking behind you right now.
Yeah, so obviously I was trying not to pay attention so much. It's really so many people, but it's really just kind of a common mix. It's a lot of people who are here with the media. And
they got bad. It sounds kind of bad.
Supporters beyond that one guy just as reporter. So, we're trying to him as much as possible. As far as the family goes,
they saying crazy shit to them and everything.
We saw the family kind of get into a Sprinter van and kind of drive off, maybe to get something to eat, maybe to decompress. Because think about it, Jesse. His children were inside that courtroom, especially his daughters were inside that courtroom, hearing about their father, booking escorts and beating, allegedly beating women, that type of sort. So maybe it was just the time that all the family members just
I know that's
get out of here, get away from this media circus. But for the most part, it's a good mix.
Okay. Bro, that gotta be embarrassing, bro. And his daughters is like, they're at least 17, bro. They're at least 17, my nigga. And they gonna be sitting up in there listening to them talk about all this shit Puffy done did. This is wild, my nigga. This is
media and just the general public.
This bigger than the OJ trial, dog.
So listen, I know you have to jump back into that courtroom because they're going to start up in
first day in, bro.
Real quick, if you could summarize the defense's opening statement, some highlights there.
Yeah, the defense's opening statement were pretty, we were kind of expecting them. They were going to have to admit that Diddy had been towards women, and they were going to have to admit that Diddy had this type of temper, that he participated in taking these types of drugs, and that his temper was especially bad whenever he was on drugs and alcohol. There was a point in the openings where Diddy was introducing him to the jury. For the most part, even throughout opening statements, he kind of sat there calmly. He looked at the jurors. He looked at Tenny Garagos, who again provided the opening statements on the defense's behalf. The defense was kind of harping on the fact that the government has no place in his bedroom, something that we had talked about many of times, just how they're kind of painting this as somebody, who did bad things on one hand, but were these bad things criminal? And that was essentially what the defense's argument was there. They said that the defense will see domestic.
I don't see him winning this at all. I don't see him winning this, bro. It's a wrap, my nigga. It's a wrap for niggas, bro. But Kendrick Lamar say, watch the party die, dog. You gotta watch the party die, bro. Cat Williams said, P. Diddy like to party and you gotta tell him no. Come on, man. He did it like the party and you gotta tell him no.
Violence in this trial, but you know, while they do take it seriously, they say it's not sex trafficking. Diddy was allegedly committing, and that thing, you know, the defense was saying that these alleged victims were strong, capable women, that they made choices that were for adults, they were free of choice, and they came with both pros and cons, and that type of thing. And then they were kind of talking a lot about how Diddy was jealous and how, you know, other partners or his other relationship partners. So, for example, Cassie. They also mentioned Gina, somebody I had talked about in some stories I had done. She had talked about how Diddy was physically violent with her in a podcast episode, for example. And so that was kind of her mention there beyond, you know, what the government was talking about as far as you know, alleged victims in this case and that type of sort. They had mentioned Kim Porter and how Cassie was jealous of Kim Porter's relationship with Diddy and that type of thing. And then everything kind of ended as soon as Kim Porter had passed away. Cassie went to her memorial service, and that was the last time she had seen Diddy, even prior to her expectation that she'll be inside that courtroom testifying. You know, these jurors are going to see some of these freak-off videos, but they say that was taken from Cassie's devices, not Diddy's devices. And so, you know, they talked about Mia, for example, who had worked with Diddy for a number of years, and the defense says, you know, they want jurors to evaluate her motive to testify. When they were talking about Jane Doe, it was the same thing, that this was a jealous relationship. Jane wanted to be more public, whereas Diddy, you know, he wanted other relationships that Jane and that type of thing. So those are some of the biggest takeaways from the defense's openings, as well as the government's openings as well, too.
These are the arguments we anticipated. Now, obviously, there's a lot more detail to it. We're hearing it in an official capacity. And these jurors, while they might have heard certain aspects of this case, this is the first time, presumably, both arguments are being positioned to them for the first time in such a very particular way. And this.
Hey, y'all check out Law and Crime, man. Yeah. Let me see. Let me like a little rhythm where I could just go boom boom like that right there. Just keep going boom boom boom. This shit here, I don't know. This shit been going live for 2 days or some shit. Oh, I see what they doing. Wow. Damn, I just figured out something, y'all, on YouTube. That's crazy. I just figured out some shit. Ah, shit. We're gonna go, Star Snake. I ain't got premium, y'all. That's why all these commercials keep coming through.
If Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party, there could only be 2 reasons. Money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties.
Oh my God.
Spotlights on Jakes, the mega church icon, spiritual voice of millions. Out of nowhere, he announces he's stepping down from the Potter's house, and now the streets are buzzing louder than ever. Officially, it's all being brushed off as a personal, the usual blah, blah, blah. But Monique, oh no, sis ain't buying that for 1 second. According to her, it's not just a retirement, it's a cover-up. She says this sudden exit.
It's on the internet. He's doing all of this, right? And then there's a woman on the dais.
Word is swirling that Jakes might have been mixed in some of those private affairs Diddy's being accused of. And allegedly the higher-ups at the Potter's house caught wind of it. Sources say they didn't want to risk a full-blown PR disaster. So instead of letting the drama blow up in their faces, they gently encouraged Jakes to step down before things got too hot to handle. Basically, they didn't want Diddy's drama dripping down their church aisles like holy water going bad. Now here's Monique says she's not received. I mean, she's ready to talk. Buck up, because Monique's not playing. She's ready to drop some bombs about why Bishop T.D. Jakes really stepped down. Trust the Virgins team is pushing. Let's break this down. The new
from his role as senior pastor of the Potter's House. That's a cultural earthquake. Social media lit up like fireworks on the 4th of July. This wasn't just church news, this was global chatter. We're talking about a man whose name rings bells far beyond the pulpit. TD Jakes, who's been preaching, leading, and shaping culture since the 90s. The same man whose books flew off shelves, whose televised. This ain't some regular preacher retiring. It's like when the Pope steps down or the Dalai Lama goes silent. Jakes isn't just a pastor. He's a certified icon in the black community and beyond. His impact massive. He's been invited into White Houses, spoken at the funerals of legends like Whitney and Aretha, and advised presidents from George W. Bush to Barack Obama. That's power. So when he suddenly calls it quits, you better believe people are asking why. And Monique, she's not here for the PR spin. She says there's way more behind the scenes, some deep, dirty secrets that tie back to Diddy's chaos. And she's got no problem pulling back the curtain. Because let's be real, you knew there had to be a but, right? Lately, things ain't been so picture perfect for Bishop Jakes. Behind all the praise, prestige, and polished sermons, there's been some serious side-eye flying around. Whispers have started creeping into the conversation, quietly tying him to the storm surrounding Diddy.
But there will be a time. So you can start dragging people and arguing with people, fighting and just log off. All you do is just hit the button. Right there. Log off.
Let's be real, those kinds of connections, they can shake even the strongest image. We're talking about a man who built an empire on trust and respect. So when these kinds of rumors start swirling, that whole carefully built legacy starts looking a little shaky. People start pulling back. That admiration, that respect, it starts to fade when the streets start talking. And now Monique has entered the chat, and she's not holding nothing back. She just dropped a truth bomb that's got everyone side-eyeing this sudden retirement. Forget all that safe talk about new ventures and rest. Monique says, nah, this wasn't no peaceful exit. This was a quiet step down under pressure. According to her, Bishop Jakes is tied way deeper into Diddy's private world than anyone expected. She's talking about those wild, exclusive parties, the ones people barely whisper about, and she's saying Jakes wasn't just aware, he might have been in the mix. And now that the feds are knocking at Diddy's door, people are tripping over themselves to escape the fallout. Monique's throwing serious shade. And her theory? It's wild, but folks are listening. She suggests Bishop Jakes might have gotten too close to the fire. Maybe the glitz, the money, and Diddy's flashy lifestyle pulled him in deeper than he expected. And maybe, just maybe, he got involved in some things he's now regretting big time.
If you've recently been injured in a car accident that wasn't your fault, I've got one question for you. Do you know how to get the maximum compensation?
When the heat cranked up, allegations of drugging, trafficking, and all kinds of mess, Jakes allegedly tried to keep cool, deny, and distance himself, hoping it would all pass like a bad storm. But this storm, it's looking like a full-blown hurricane. Now here's where it gets crazy. Monique says Diddy, who's now facing the real possibility of hard time, is feeling cornered. And that's when people get dangerous. According to her, Diddy ain't just sitting on secrets, he's sitting on a vault of receipts. We're talking files, recordings, even pictures that could flip the whole industry upside down. It's the nuclear option. If Diddy goes down, he's not going alone. He's allegedly ready to take everybody with him. Names, dates, dirty details, and all. And Monique's theory, Jakes knows what's coming. She thinks he saw the writing on the wall and decided to step away before the detonation. That resignation, it wasn't peace, it was protection. He's ducking for cover before Diddy drops the bomb and the truth scorches everybody.
Damn.
And now, Monique's saying Jakes didn't just walk away from his ministry.
Damn. This shit make a whole lot of sense because it's like this man stepped down right before the Diddy trial, bro. That's wild. That's incredible. Like, for real, dog. Like, just to think about it, like, it makes sense, bro. Why you stepping down right before Diddy go to trial, bro? Like, the man stepped down, like, I don't think it might have been this last past Saturday or Sunday, or the one before. Might have been one before. This is crazy, dog.
To pursue peace? Nah, she claims he's ducking for cover before Diddy gets mad enough to start naming names. According to her, this move was a calculated one. A quiet retreat before the real war begins. A preemptive strike to protect his image before any receipts hit the internet. And you gotta admit, this theory, it's juicy. It does make you raise an eyebrow. The timing alone is just too suspicious. Right when Diddy's situation explodes, Jake suddenly steps down. No warning, no buildup, just gone. People aren't buying the sabbatical talk anymore. And let's not forget, Jake's name has popped up alongside Diddy's before, even if it was in low-key, unverified whispers. But now, with Diddy's legal drama boiling over, those whispers are turning into full-blown speculation. It's giving soap opera energy, powerful men, hidden truths, and a possible downfall that could rock not just Hollywood, but the church world too.
You've been to these parties, right?
Oh yeah, I was there when he was doing the white parties in the Hamptons and the whole 9 yards. So I know what goes on at the parties. If you know, they probably got a little bit more freakier, you know, as time went on, you know, because they got to the point where that they didn't even care. It used to be secretly, you know, where people used to go to, you know, separate rooms and different rooms, and they wasn't doing that out in the public, you know. So, but now they don't care. Men kissing men and all this other stuff. That's just crazy.
Whether Monique's theory is fact or fiction, one thing's for sure. It's added a whole new layer of chaos to an already wild situation. And the fans, they see it. One person even posted, TD Jakes just announced he's stepping down from the Potter's house. Diddy's trial is about to expose things that won't stay buried. We're finally about to see what's really been happening behind the pulpit. Word on the street, Jakes didn't just resign, he escaped. Now here's where it really starts sounding like a movie plot. Rumors are flying that Bishop Jakes is about to flee the country. Yeah, you heard that right. Word on the street is that he's planning to vanish before Diddy's trial kicks off on May 5th. One fan posted, TD Jakes steps down a week before the Diddy trial. Come on, that's not a coincidence. Another added, Diddy trial next week, Jakes retired this week, and Creole Thief tour flopping. Oh, next week's about to be chaos. The theory? Jakes is panicking. Folks think he's afraid he'll get, it's not a coincidence. Another added, Diddy trial next week, Jakes retired this week, and Creole Thief tour flopping. Oh, next week's about to be chaos. The theory? Jakes is panicking. Folks think he's afraid he'll get pulled into the legal mess. Whether it's being called to testify, having some hidden skeletons dragged out, or just being associated with Diddy when everything explodes, and apparently his master plan, bounce now before it's too late. They're saying he packed his bags and ghosted because there's no other way to protect his image. After all, his whole career is built on that flawless rep. And when that starts to crack, you either face it or run. And right now,
you gotta run.
And let's run. The spotlight ain't. Jakes made it look effortless. He sold millions of books preaching faith, successfully values. He showed up in movies, on TV, at the house, all while projecting this really untouchable vibe. He built a whole empire off that squeaky clean persona.
Fuck the bag up. I mean, you know, it's not just the bag, but definitely your image and what you're supposed to be representing as a pastor or whatever. So that's crazy.
Years, Bishop Jakes mastered the art of the image. Clean, powerful, respected. Everything about him, every sermon, every book, every film role, it all pointed to the same narrative. A man of God, a man of the people, a moral compass for. But here's the hard truth. Forever. You can sell out arenas, write 1,000 books, and every inspiration you want to read you, eventually it steps into the light. And if that real version of Jakes was quietly rubbing his inner circle, showing face at those exclusive after dark parties, and allegedly taking part in things that no pastor should ever be near, that's a serious problem. The rumors say Jakes lived a double life, one polished for the public, the other hidden in the shadows. But when your name gets tangled up with someone as infamous and as investigated as Diddy, secrets don't stay buried, they bubble up fast. Now that Diddy's empire is in freefall, those cracks in Jakes' image are splitting wide open. And Monique, she's not just watching, she's exposing. She claims Jakes tried to separate who he was from who he played in public, but that wall's coming down quick. She says the truth has been hiding in plain sight, and now that the lights are on, there's nowhere left to run. The facade's crumbling. Let's rewind real quick and fill in a key piece of this puzzle, especially if you're still catching up on why Jakes is really in the middle of all this. Let's get one thing straight. This ain't just some wild internet rumor spiraling out of control. Nope, this thing has legs. Straight to the courtroom. Bishop
I stepped into the courtroom. Yeah, that bruh, it's crazy, but it makes sense.
Jason's name is a plea being dragged into the Diddy disaster and not his connection party makes a
Lil Rob at his house today.
It says that Diddy plotted to use his relationship with Bishop Jakes to clean up his public situation exploded. That's right. According to the documents, Diddy wanted to leverage Jakes' influence like some spiritual PR move to soften the fallout after Ventura filed her explosive lawsuit. And if that wasn't enough, Jones's own legal filings it's 38 pages and was filed in the Southern District of New York. Inside, Jones says that from September 23, while living and working with Diddy, he was drugged, intimidated, and threatened. And that's just his side of the story.
So why do you think he's going to these parties? I think that he's going to the Diddy party. Bruh.
He can't even answer the question.
If he's going, well, we know he's to the Diddy party, and I know that it's, I know what usually happens. Told him at the Diddy party. Maybe he's seen for stuff, man. Maybe he need to go there and get involved in some things that could help save some individuals while they going to those parties, or maybe just going to. Man, it's hard. It's hard to even talk about. Why would you find a religious man? You know, when you know that the saints supposed to separate themselves from the sinners, and why would a religious man like himself be at a party? There's nothing but sin that's going on, bro. Whether it's drinking, maybe fornicating, maybe, like I said, men. It's hard to put in perspective unless you yourself what is actually going on at the parties. It's hard, bro.